A very good morning to you. Welcome to Good Morning East Africa, and today we mark the very first episode of Herssociate. Herssociate is a show all about women. I am your host, Ngugi, and with me in studio are two very beautiful ladies by the name Muna and Siham. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So Siham, what do you do for a living?
I do quite a few things, but the main thing that I do right now is I started a magazine last month called B Magazine, and it's literally like this show. It's just literally based on women issues. So we just talk about women and like all the positive things they've done in society, like the positivity of women, like what they've achieved, like what benefits women bring into this world type thing. And yeah, that's one of the things that I do right now. That's the main thing anyway.
How about you, Muna? What do you do for a living?
I do quite a few things. I run a water company called D.O.P. We supply water. I also run a hotel and a restaurant and a building material shop.
What's the name of your restaurant and hotel?
The hotel and restaurant is called Herssociate Gateway Restaurant and Hotel, and our building material is called Jacir.
So today's show is all about why we need to educate the girl child. Both of you are educated, and I'm also lucky to have gone through school. I've even gone through higher education, and I would love to hear from you both. Like, what level of education have you achieved? Let's start with you, Muna.
Me, I did primary, secondary, and college. I did not go to university. And yeah, that's it. And I did extra trainings and stuff like that to improve my skills.
Did you get educated here in Somaliland or outside?
No, I got educated in the UK.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm literally exactly the same. I just went through primary.
Still in the UK?
Yeah, it was in the UK as well. Like, went through primary, secondary education, and I did college, and that was literally it. I started university, just never got around to finishing it, to be honest. Never got around to finishing it, yeah, but it's literally the same.
So how was life like? Like, if you compare education maybe in the UK as compared to here, is there a difference? There's
quite a lot of difference in the sense where it's like, in the UK you learn like, you're more free with your education. You can decide on what you want to study, what you like, how you're going to study it. There's like loads of different options, whereas here it's just like one strict like pattern to follow, like the system, like you got to go, everybody like learns the same thing, you learn it in the same way, you learn, even you got to a point where people have the same handwriting. If you notice, people here all have the same handwriting as well, so it's like it's like one universal education system, whereas in England we have like multiple different things. So I prefer it there, to be honest.
How about you? Like, you were also educated in the UK, and if you compare like the rate at which girls are educated outside, in the outside world as compared to here in Somalia, is there a difference?
There's a huge difference. Number one, in the UK, education is free. So everybody has the opportunity, women, men, whatever you are, black, yellow, green, you all have the same rights as education. Everybody starts at a very young age and they continue all the way to college. It's for free. After a college, it's university levels is money. So it's your choice if you want to go that route, or you can go, do other stuff like working or, doing apprenticeships. Like, for example, learning different things through work instead of going through education, like university-wise. That's the difference. Whereas here in Somaliland, everything is mainly money. Like, for example, most Somali families have many children. So when it comes to women, maybe if the parents have like 5 girls and 4 boys, they prefer to educate the boys because the girls end up getting married or having children, so they stay at home. So that's the difference. But hopefully in the future it will change in Somaliland too. Hopefully one day.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in Somalia and in Somaliland, fewer girls get educated than boys. Like, you'll find there are so many boys in school, but girls are staying out of school. You mentioned there is no, like, there's preference for boys to get educated. Like, even parents.
I don't think it's preference. Is they think, okay, which one is going to benefit us more quicker? Whereas boys, even if they get married young age, they still will go out and work and bring
money into
the house
family.
or income to.
Yeah.
Whereas when it comes to girls, if they have a child, usually they stay at home. But for us in the West, for me example, after I had my child, I straight went to work. It didn't stop me from working because I have a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it true that here girls are only valued when they are married? Like the only thing a woman can do in her life is get married.
I think that's what they say a woman's main goal is just to like get married and reproduce. It's like from a young age, I've noticed here that people get raised, like women get raised to be told like, you know what, your main job, your main role in society is just grow up to be the perfect wife, to be the perfect mother. Like you're not told to be educated, to go to school, or to be like, you can do your own thing, you can be independent, you can be like, you can be you. Like you don't get told that. It's just like.
But I think again it depends on education of the parents. If your parents are not educated, most likely they don't think it's important for you to get educated. So I think now, for example, my father, he's educated. So he only, since we were growing up, his main motto in life was get educated so you can be independent and do what you like. Doesn't matter if you're a boy or girl. But whereas maybe if I was living in Hargeisa and my father wasn't educated, maybe you have the same mindset as the people here. So I think in the future now, if the government says it's compulsory for everybody to go to school under age of 18, maybe then we can start changing and minds will start changing. Because minds only change through education and through awareness. So hopefully in the next coming years something will change and men and women will both be educated fully.
What value has education brought to your life? Other than you being a businesswoman, you know, education is more than just employment. It's a matter of life and death, you know? Like you're aware of your health, you're able to raise a healthy family. What role has education played in your life?
It's played plenty. Say for example, if I wasn't educated, I wouldn't be where I am now, in the sense where I wouldn't be like able to read and write in order to start a magazine, or to be able to, say for example, I have a son. He wouldn't, like, because he's at home now, he's not at the age, he's only a year and a half old, he's not at the age to go to school, but I wouldn't be able to still give him that sort of bedtime stories that he gets, to be able to read him, like, to show him all the stuff that he learns on like TV or like, on YouTube, or like all the little games that he plays. I may not take my skills outside the house as of yet, but it's like you're still as of benefit to inside the house as is outside the house. Say for example, when your children grow older, they're going to have homework, they're going to come home. If the husband or the father's out doing his work, doing whatever, you're the one who's stuck at home to be helping your child to do their homework, you're the one who's stuck at home to be, so it's like, it's helped in so many ways. So like, I can sort of go out there and educate. Like I was doing English as second language for like 8 years. Like I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't know how to teach, or if I didn't know what I was doing, for example, or if I wasn't educated. So yeah, education brings a lot of benefits.
How about you? Like, would you be able to run the water company you have right now if you were not educated? And what would you be doing? Like, if you did not have education, would you be a stay-at-home mom?
Personally, I think the education has benefited me in many ways. I wouldn't be running, if I wasn't educated, I don't think I'll be running anything. Because this means I don't know how to read or write. Because now running a business is all about reading, calculations, mathematics. Like even though if you didn't have higher education of like university level, but you have the base. So this means nobody can trick you. You still know your income and your expenses. If you don't know how to read or write, or if you don't know mathematics, you won't be able to calculate your expenses and your income. So that's number one. Number two, even in normal basic life, you go to a shop, you pick up 5 items, and you only have $10. You have to calculate, okay, how much can I get for this amount of money I have? Can I get little or can I get more? So it's all about basically simple things.
Being able to run your everyday life.
For example, even if I want to make a cake, and you go online on Google, I want to make this, I don't know, vanilla cake. It says 300 grams and 1 kilo of this, and you have this mathematics. So you have to be able to put everything and put together, Even if, for example, my daughter, she has eczema. So some things she doesn't tolerate. So at the back of the labels, you have to read what's on there. If I wasn't able to read, my child could have been,
seriously,
at risk,
Well, I think men need to realize that it is important to educate women. Actually, it is said, if you educate a man, you are educating one person.
Yeah.
But if you educate a woman, you're educating a whole village and a whole nation. So what are the reasons, other than people not seeing the value of educating women, because after all, they're just going to be married? What other reasons are hindering the girl child in Somalia and Somaliland to stay away from education? Like, which other reasons do you think are making this happen? Like,
no, but as Muna said earlier, it's, I think there is also the money issue. Like, they're not going to, as there's Somali people have plenty of children, they're not going to be able to afford to take every child, so they kind of prioritize, pick and choose who's going to go to school and who's not going to go to school. That might be an issue. Yeah, that could be one. But I don't know. There's plenty. Some people that live in the villages, just outside where there's no education, there's no school. They're just there with their animals. They're there with their families. Like, there's no school or there's nothing for them nearby to go and to be educated. So that could be another issue. So if they make schools outside the cities and to like all of the tiny villages outside, maybe then also the females and children there, not just female, because there's boys out there that don't get educated that could get educated down there as well. So there's so many ways to kind of like bring education, but I don't know why people don't do it.
I think FGM is also another factor, female genital mutilation. It is said that around 98% of Somali girls have gone through FGM. FGM is a traumatizing experience, and most of the time when they go through FGM, they do not go back to school because they have to heal, and most of the time, after they go through FGM, like, they just get married off. Yeah. So is this true?
Some parts is true, some parts, I think now, maybe back in days, our mother's generation, there was more FGM, whereas now, 2019, FGM has become very less. I think from 100% it became maybe to 40% now. People are more educated. A lot of organizations, NGOs have educated people saying, you know, stop doing FGM. Because of a lot of health factors. Not education-wise, I mean as in for themselves. Even, you know, when the woman has a monthly cycle, they have a lot of complications. Or when the woman gets married, they have a lot of complications because you have to be cut open again. Or when a lady is giving birth, there's a lot of complications. So there's a lot of factors. So I think now actually a lot of people are standing up for their rights when it comes to FGM. I don't think FGM and education is really linked. But people are getting more aware. There's a lot of more billboards. I don't know if you've seen it in town. There's more billboards, there's more people educated, and also a lot of people are coming to realize, okay, FGM is just completely pointless, and it's not really. It was just a tradition that for many years people just, you know, was recycling every time to their children. Thank God I didn't have FGM, and nor did I would never give my daughter FGM either. So we broke the cycle. My generation broke the cycle. I think from whoever was born after the 80s, 88s, they are all saved. Maybe.
It's after the Civil War, basically.
After the Civil War, when people went to abroad, the Western country, that's when they kind of broke the FGM cycle. But there's still some from the countrysides, villages. They still do some, but hopefully they also are getting educated now.
You have this magazine, and your magazine focuses more on women's issues, and you get to hear a lot of stories. Have you met girls who dropped out of school at an early age and got married off early? Do they tell you how I wish I was educated?
As we was discussing this earlier, there are plenty of women that you see here. I don't know if it's just here, in Somalia, Somaliland, or across Africa. But then there's like women that will go, you know what? I was 11 when I got married, and now I have 3 children, or I have 4 children, or I was like 12, some even as young as like 9 or 8 or 10. And it's just like, but you're wasting a whole person's life on what? Like, just to get married. And it's for the dumbest of reasons. Like, one of the girls that I was talking to, she was like, my dad got into an argument, or my brother or something got into an argument with some other people. We couldn't afford like the money or something, and then they were just like, you know what, we've got a daughter. She was 11 years old. So she dropped out of school. They took her out of school. They told her, and they put her in the middle of nowhere, so she couldn't run away.
So just because the father had an argument,
A conflict with someone.
She was the commodity to be sold.
Yeah.
Take her. She was,
Because he doesn't have the money to
And the guy is like, what? Old enough to be her granddad. Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting. It's like, and they take her out of school and they put her in the middle of nowhere. So she has no choice but to stay in this house, because if she leaves, there's like wild animals, or she's a small person. She can't protect herself in the outside. So there's a lot of reason why I think a lot of girls are uneducated as well. That's one of the reasons. Like, there's a lot of girls where they just go, you know what, just get her married off. Or we need money. And do you know how when a girl gets married, her family gets money? So they're either poor, so she's like, you know what, we have daughters, why don't we just marry her off? And then they have a bit of money for like a year or two. So it's a bit dumb. And then when that money runs out, they marry off another one. So it's ridiculous, but it's unfortunately something that happens there quite often. So
she drops out of school.
She doesn't drop out. They take her out of school,
Forcefully.
Yeah.
Which means she will never get any other education, because once she gets married, she'll start bearing children, and I don't think that man would tell her, okay, you can go back to school because I forced you to get out of school because of getting married to me.
Because he knows if she gets educated, she's going to have like knowledge to like, this is not right. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be doing this. So obviously no man's going to educate a little young girl to know to leave him. Basically, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. And you know, when you get when you get married, when you're uneducated, there's so many things that you cannot do as a wife. Because first of all, you're not quite sure about how to handle a pregnancy, because nobody taught you. Maybe just the traditional methods and how you used to see your mother doing it. But you're not really aware of your maternal health. You don't even know why it is important to go to a clinic. And even when you get a child, do you even know how
to raise a child? Yeah.
So you, as a mother, how did education enable you to go through pregnancy in the best way ever? And
for me, Google was my best friend.
Join the club.
Google. So let's say when I felt pregnant, for example, and I found out, okay, then I started Googling, okay, what's healthy foods to eat? What's what can I eat? What can I not eat? How do I? Let's say if I have pain, I will Google it. I also had access to healthcare system. So during my pregnancy, actually, I felt diabetic. I was diabetic. I had gestational diabetes. So then again, I had to obviously come up. Okay, now, in order for me, to survive this pregnancy, I have to eat healthy. I have to exercise. I have to do a lot of things. So education helped me. So I could at least,
use the
Google
internet.
stuff. I could research a lot of things. What to eat, what not to eat, and all that stuff, and how to, overcome this gestational diabetes I had. That's number one. When I had my daughter, if I see anything, small little symptoms, straight away research on Google. Also, I had an app which used to tell me, now your child's 6 months, they can start eating soft foods.
I had that.
A lot of things, that I could just follow and help me. Also, there was mother circles that I used to attend, which also is a big community that come together every week or every 2 weeks, and someone educational comes and tells you, okay, this child, the milestone should be this. For example, at 86 months, they should be maybe, laughing a lot and, moving their hands around and being aware of people's face recognitions. Because at 6 months, they start recognizing who this is, and if it's a stranger, they start crying. And if they know you, they're happy with you and they become. So stuff like that helped me through my pregnancy as a mother. Even now, my child, I put her into education. She's only 3 now. She goes to school. After school, she comes home. I'm able to help her and ask her, how school and stuff like this. Also, a lot of emotional and mentally, I help her. A lot. Actually, when it comes to education, when you have a bad day, for example, at school, maybe you had a fight with a child, and your parents don't ask you how's school or what's going on, and is anything difficult? Are you struggling with a particular subject like maybe mathematics? A lot of smart parents, they don't ask their children. So the child might have difficulties in one area and they will hate school, for example, because they don't have the backup support system at home. So you need a backup support system, like someone to ask you, okay, you are good in English, but you have problems in mathematics. Okay, how can we overcome this problem? Do you need extra tuition? Do you need a little bit somebody to sit down with you and explain to you more? Because in Hargeisa, as she said, everybody's in one class. Some kids are very smart and some kids are not as smart as the other kids. They have potential, but all they need is a little bit of extra attention. And a little bit of extra attention that, to say, hey, where are you finding problems? Is it subtracting? Is it addition? Is it multiplication? What is the problem? So it's like, if the parents don't ask you, they might put you into school, they think their job is done. But the job is not done. You have to constantly, follow this child. You have to go to children's support, their reports, see if it's...
Let me interrupt you there. That's another thing as a teacher. Do you know, in England, we have parents' evening, like where once or 3 times a year, the parents would be called in and they would discuss your child's progress. They'll tell you, what, this is where they're lacking, this is where they're good at, this is their grades, this is what they like, this is your child's progress. But here, you just take them to school, that's it. Like literally, I know like one of my cousins, they'll tell me, when we get in trouble in school, I don't know if you've heard these stories, when we get in trouble in school, we'll pick a random person from the street and give them like 3,000, 4,000 shillings to act like a parent. Because the teachers don't, because the teachers don't even know what their parents look like. Literally, they never go to school. And so, so when you go home, and you've got a bunch of homework and your parents don't know whether you've given it, that you even have homework, do they even know you have homework to help you with? They'll just go home, put their bags down, next morning they're taking it, they get in trouble, they pick someone off the street, go, this is my auntie, yesterday my mom came, today my auntie came, tomorrow my uncle's coming, tomorrow. So it's like, it's you look at the education system here and you're just like...
You also need the parents' backup system.
Yeah, it's a joke here sometimes. You look at them, you're just like, wow. Some of the stories you hear, it's just... It's
also ridiculous. In class, they have no limits here. There can be 40, 50 students in one class, whereas when I grew up, there's only max 25 children. And in those 25 children, you have groups. Some of the smarter kids are in one group, some of the little bit less, they are all smart, everybody's smart. Everybody's smart, but some people are visual learners, some people are theory learners, there's different groups, people learn differently. Some people might learn through just listening, some people might through explanation over and over again. So it depends. So they are segregated. So this children that need a little bit extra support, they get a teacher, a teacher assistant, and the system. Whoever can function just by listening to the teacher will stay in the class. So and also extra curriculum, after school clubs. We have after school clubs. Yeah. In the UK, people. If you need extra revision in mathematics or science or something, they can help you. Or free of charge as well. So that you have to pay.
Well, here there are so many single women here in Somalia and Somaliland. The divorce rate is quite high. Therefore, you find that it's the women who are left with the responsibility of taking care of these children. If this woman never got any education at all, or maybe she just got basic education, how is she going to survive? Because she needs to make money and feed her children and take care of herself too. So do you think that the issue of divorce, like we need to educate girls so that even when they get divorced, they are also able to take care?
In Somaliland, I don't know about Somalia, but in Somaliland we have one problem. A young girl, maybe 20 years old, 18 years old, she has a boyfriend and starts talking to the boyfriend, they fall in love. She doesn't think about, okay, does this guy work, number one. She's just thinking, I want to leave my parents' house maybe because I'm not allowed to go out, Because some of the parents can be a little bit strict. She just wants to run away and get that freedom, but she does not get the freedom when she goes to her husband's house because she becomes the main person in the house. Because maybe at home your mom was the responsible of everything. Now she is. So she takes such big responsibility at a young age. You have to clean the house, you have to cook, you have to make sure everything is done, his clothes, your children, everything is in order, which sometimes can become overwhelming. Even if she's good at that, sometimes it means her husband doesn't have enough money because she just ran away with a young, same age as her. Maybe even not educated, maybe. He doesn't have a stable job. She does, before they get married, they don't think about all this because they think marriage is a happy, amazing, what she watches on TV, but not like that.
Disney princesses.
Before you get married, it's important for you to check what this guy is actually doing. Does he have a stable job? Can he afford your rent? Can he afford your food? Can you live in a comfortable life? They don't think about that. So I think women are a little bit careless sometimes as well. They just think, oh, I'm in love with this guy, and that's it. Love ends. Reality comes.
And I think it's because they're not educated, like they do not know that.
They don't know the value. They don't know self-value. That's the problem. A lot of young women don't have self-value. They just think, I'm going to get married and that's it, I'm going to have children. But she doesn't realize that there's a bigger world.
But as she said, like, you're the one who's stuck with the children. You're the one who's stuck with, like, even education. Like, say in England, they teach us how to cook, how to make clothes, how to make, like, woodwork. They teach you all these basic necessities that you're going to need around the house. Because at the end of the day, like, you never know when you're going to you never know when you're going to need these skills. So it's like, when you get married and you get divorced or whatever, you're going to need these skills to be able to provide for your children. Because in the Somali community, men don't stick around when you're divorced. It's hardly unlikely for a man to stick around and go, you know what, whether we're divorced or not, this woman's got my children. No, they're gone. It's like they've been let out of cages.
But I also think another thing, education is not everything. I think sometimes, I should say in the UK, if you don't want to go to, sometimes people don't like education. They go to something called skill works, like stuff like I don't know, carpenter, painters, builders. All that stuff you don't need education. You don't need university. But it's like training. I'm talking about like go to university and having books. Talking about something skills-wise, something that you can work on. So for example, that's also a lack in Somaliland. We don't have a lot of places that people can go to and learn things. People just learn by following others. Like if I want to be a painter, there's no place I can go to a course and learn how to paint. Or if I want to be a builder, there's no place you can learn. You just go in and just copy people and you try it. So
So I think we have proven that educating the girl child is really important. And education is more than just being employed. It's also about yourself. How you're going to run your family, how you're going to secure your life. If you get divorced, will you be able to be economically stable? Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been lovely. And congratulations for being women who are contributing to economy. You have great businesses, you're doing great things. And I think our audience have loved this show. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.